You're listening to the Bumbling Golfer Podcast. Hey everyone, this is John, the Bumbling Golfer here, episode number 7 of the Bumbling Golfer Podcast. Um, man, I went to, well, let me rephrase that. Anyone out there listening that has gone to a golf show or a trade show or, any kind of show at like an expo center. Um, Obviously I love golf and I really like a few other things, and I've been to a few of those shows as well. However, I never understood the logistics of what went into those shows. So, um, first off, as you can see here, if you're watching on YouTube, see my Acorn Hills quarter zip. If you're interested, feel free go over to acornhillsco.com and check out their gear. Nate is a young man who started this business, and if you want more information on it, check him out. I'll put a link in the description below. Use code Bumble15 for 15% off at checkout. So anyway, yeah, I went to the Philadelphia golf show. It's, I guess, Philadelphia area golf show. It's in Oaks, Pennsylvania. And a little surprised. The show was a little small, but pretty good nonetheless. I went as a helping member of the Scramble House to help Justin out. He had an amazing booth. We had a tent. We had a little kind of skee ball type game for putting. It was very popular. We thought it would be more popular with the kids, but the parents and the adults actually really liked it as well. It was pretty hard but fun. We had, let's see, what else did we have? We had one of the couches there from the Scramble House. That was a big hit because people would come and sit down, and oddly enough, people offered to buy the couch because it was so comfortable. I believe he has like 14 or 15 of them in the King of Prussia location. So, um, anyhow, I helped out with the setting up and the breaking down and the operation of I guess the booth per se, um, for the show. And I'll tell you, it was a lot of work. And if you've seen my Instagram reel where I kind of go over it, I was beat. I was wiped. It was a ton of work. Um, we had help from other members as well, which was great. And here's what I'll say: when I say we, it really means the Scramble House. But Justin again is like the brainchild of all this. We brought not one, but two custom made full on golf simulators with all the technology, with the GC quads. We had one on stage that we had to kind of shoehorn on there. It was an 8 foot deep stage. So we had a literal 8 foot deep simulator there with, I think it was a 10 foot tall screen, maybe 8 foot tall. Anyway, it worked out. It was really good. It was a real big hit at the show. He was able to do some lessons on stage. He was able to communicate kind of what his teaching style is and all that. So that was cool. But we also had it closest to the pin at our booth, and that was a 16 by 10 by maybe 16 by 12. It was 16 feet wide. I believe it was 10 feet tall and 12 feet wide or deep. Anyway, we had that set up as well. That was the closest to the pin. And I'll tell you, man, we moved some people through that booth. It was all free. It was, people could come and hit, and closest to the pin, I believe closest we got was outside of one person hit the pin and it bounced back, and I hit the pin and it bounced back. I wouldn't have won anyway because I was working the booth, but I believe it was 1 foot 8 inches was the closest for the entire weekend. Other than that, so logistically, so going to these shows, going to a trade show, I'll talk about this golf show. I didn't realize how much work it was to get set up. I mean, we had to bring And by the way, this was all made out of wood. And shout out to Joanne Fabrics for me and Justin bought two stores out of their one fleece fabric that they had to use on the enclosure so it would be darker in there. But they look great. Everything looked really good. Gave out a ton of day passes, but the day of we got there pretty early, and oddly enough, Justin rented a U-Haul truck, and we took everything over, most of the stuff over. We took two trips over to get the stuff there. The U-Haul truck broke down in the driveway or in the parking lot. Um, Thankfully, it was like, probably like 20, 30 yards from the door. Uh, but we had to carry all the stuff in, and we were in the far corner. No matter what entrance we used, we were at the far corner. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get set up. We got it set up. I think it took us probably about an hour and a half to get the big sim set up because I don't think we had it marked quite right. Um, but yeah, it was a lot, and we were there early. I got to see all the other, I mean, all the people selling clubs. They have it down to a science. I mean, I think these people go from show to show selling product, but logistically, it was a lot, and we only had a 8 or 10 minute drive from the Scramble House there in King of Prussia to the Expo Center. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of work. Started early in the morning, finished kind of late at night. Not real late, but saw a lot of people, met a lot of really cool, people that are golfers, and they're looking for equipment or they're looking for a practice facility. I will say that the feedback that I saw and that I got about the Scramble House and just what we were telling people, what it was, it's kind of hard to believe, right? It really is kind of hard to believe, and until you get there, you don't really understand. But what we were doing was we were saying, hey, when you leave the show, it's right in a shopping center where there's a Walmart and there's fast food across the street. There's some really good restaurants in the area. Just go by and say, hey, I was at the show, and I want to go check it out and go check it out. So apparently a lot of people took advantage of that. Met some really good people. Shout out to 517 Golf. Those guys are from Michigan, came over before the show started on Sunday. Wanted to ask a little bit more, but they're really, really nice guys. Um, yeah, some of the vendors, they were, you know, destination golf kind of booths, right? So I met a gentleman from Frederick, Maryland, and he had his stuff together. He's basically said, if you want to come down, give me a call and we'll get it all figured out, which was great. Um, GAP was there, Golf Association of Philadelphia, which I believe is the oldest golf association in the United States, and met some really good people there as well. I know a few of them. I don't know a lot of them, but yeah, it was cool. There was lots of golf balls being sold there, lots of golf clubs being sold there. But again, logistically, it is a ton of work. When you go to a show and you see them set up, and I'll talk from like my perspective, like a mom and pop kind of situation. There was no OEMs there. TaylorMade, all those companies, TaylorMade, Ping, there was no OEM there at all. So the clubs you were getting, they had like manufacturer demo range, which, was a range where you could go hit a ball probably 10, 15 yards into a net, but you don't know trajectory. Justin was kind enough and basically told people, hey, if you just bought a club and you want to hit it, or you're thinking about buying a club and want to hit it, come over and hit it on a quad, and you can actually see some really good numbers. And I think there were some people's eyes were opened on that. Um, yeah, it was an experience. So Thursday, I think Thursday we took stuff over and built. I can't even remember. Did it start Thursday? Anyway, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think we might have went over. Maybe we didn't go Thursday, but it was just a lot. It was a lot of work, and I live a pretty soft life when it comes to physical kind of labor. I'm like an office guy, but I had a blast. Again, Justin, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you and you letting me be a part of that weekend, and it went over so well that the promoters asked us to come up to their New Jersey show, which is in Edison, New Jersey. It's not going to be the same setup. I believe we're going to have a stage sim, and we're going to have like our tent and like information, maybe like the skee ball setup. But yeah, it was great. The North Coast Golf Show promoters and all the workers, super nice people, really, really good people. It was cool to see, before the show, everyone kind of coming in a little bit tired, and then like the excitement built during the day. But at the end, I mean, we're talking. I probably talked to 1,000 people a day, minimum. Um, and it was a good time. It was a really good time. Got to meet some people from, I guess from I guess the New Jersey area, like North Jersey, South Jersey. There was a lot of people from like the Pocono Mountain region in Pennsylvania. A lot of people from Delaware. And it's really not. So when you talk about the Philadelphia Expo, it's probably 30 miles outside of Philadelphia, like out in the suburbs. But it's a great location, great spot. So yeah, it was crazy. It was very satisfying. It was challenging at times. Nothing broke, knock on wood that we get through this upcoming one. I think we have a better idea of how things can be more efficient. But if you're in the area and if you're listening to this and you have a golf show in your area, it doesn't matter whether, the Scramble House is there or Justin's there or I'm there, go support it. You can find some pretty good deals, but when you go, maybe stop at the booth and listen to what the people have to say, because I was always one to be like, you know what, I'm there for a putter. And you go and you find your putter and you walk around and you just blow people off. But there are people there that can really help you. Look, if you're looking for a vacation, there are vacation people there. If you're looking for a way to get your handicap index, maybe you're a golfer and you don't have a golf handicap. Well, I think everyone should probably have one, because you never know when that event comes up and you want to play in it. You need to have a handicap, and it's pretty easy to do. Um, yeah, and the always popular long drive competition there. I think I won in like 2001, maybe 99, something like that. Back when Art Sellinger was there and Brian Pavlet were there. I won a set of tailor-made burner irons. This year at the Philadelphia Golf Show, they were giving away, I think, a Mizuno cart bag. It was really nice. It was actually really nice. So anyway, that's my experience with the golf show. I'm working on some more content. Big news coming. Big news coming. There is pretty exciting news, even from like a distribution perspective, as far as the podcast goes. Met some great people. Continue to meet good people, and yeah, just really excited about what the future holds. Making some contacts. Really excited for the weather to break a little bit. It's supposed to be 60 degrees this Saturday. However, I will be at a golf show, which is more important than my own going out and playing golf. They'll probably jack the prices up around here too. It'll be really difficult to find a golf course to play on anyway. So, again, thank you everyone for listening. More news to come on the yeah, distribution side of this podcast, and more content coming. Maybe I'll do. I really hate that word content. I really hate it. More episodes coming. More interesting things coming. I have some discussions I want to have about, kind of my own experiences on golf courses. Maybe even some of the nicer ones. I know I just did one. Based on that, but also, maybe some course reviews and my favorite things about courses, and it's not just going to be my favorite things. It'll be some of the things I don't really care for. Um, Also talk about some golf gear, like inexpensive, really inexpensive, not really inexpensive, but ways that you can make golf more affordable. And shout out to My Golf Spy. They just did an article, if you can find that. I forget what it's called, but it's basically saying, there's alternatives out there to golf clubs. I think it specifically said Kirkland, because Kirkland's being sued by TaylorMade, and who knows what ends up coming out of that. But they're really close. And again, I hit the Ram FX 77s, which they're really good golf clubs. And strangely enough, at the golf show when we had this closest to the pin, people wanted to hit those, and they were really surprised uh, at how well they performed, even for them, because you could see it, you could see the trajectory, you could see the yardage, you could feel it. And also, I am going to be talking to people and bringing on guests, hopefully, about golf kind of travel adventures or golf travel accommodations, or I don't know, John's golf trips, anything like that. I'm not doing golf trips myself. I just use my name as an example, but really looking forward to that. Um, my network's growing, which is really exciting. Acorn Hills again. The Nate and what you're doing is great. The group of people you've put together is fantastic, and I've made a lot of new friends, a lot of new golf friends, and doing a lot of thinking about the future and how this podcast could potentially turn into something a little bit bigger. But again, thank you everyone for listening, watching, and this is John, the Bumbling Golfer, episode number 7. Just kind of rambled about the golf show a little bit. People love to buy those golf clubs at those golf shows. So there were some pretty good deals. Actually, some surprising deals. Maybe I'll find something this upcoming weekend and I'll buy it and I'll talk about it. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. You've been listening to the Bumbling Golfer podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, shout out to the people who have been listening. I really appreciate your support. I love the feedback. Your support actually keeps me going. If you have any questions, topic suggestions, anything like that, or if you would just want to share something about golf, something that you've done, reach out to me on social media at The Bumbling Golfer, or you can hit me up on email, thebumblingolfer@gmail.com. Until the next episode, this is John. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.